Welcome to our deep dive into the world of cave dwellers and cave dwellings. Um, we've got a fascinating stack of sources here, ready to unearth some surprising facts about how humans have interacted with these subterranean spaces throughout history.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that the popular image of a caveman, hunched over a fire, gnawing on a bone, it's actually quite misleading.
So are you saying our prehistoric ancestors weren't exactly throwing cave-warming parties every weekend?
Not quite. While caves might seem like the obvious choice for early humans, they weren't always the ideal habitat.
Okay.
Suitable caves were scarce, often dark and damp, and let's not forget shared with creatures like bears and hyenas.
Oh, yeah. I can see how a bear encounter might make you reconsider your real estate options.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean caves were completely off limits, right?
absolutely. We've got evidence of early humans using caves as far back as 1 million years ago.
Wow.
The Grotte de Valonnais in France, for example, shows signs of tool use and hunting practices from that time.
1 million years. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
What about other early examples?
Well, there's the Zucudian cave system in China, inhabited for an incredible 750,000 years by various human species, including Peking man and even Homo sapiens. These sites give us a glimpse into how our ancestors adapted to their environment and developed their cultures.
It really challenges that simplistic caveman narrative. They were
Mhm.
clearly more complex than we often give them credit for.
Right. And if we look at cave systems in South Africa, like Pinnacle Point and Deep Kloof Rock Shelter, we see evidence of Homo sapiens seeking refuge from harsh climates as far back as 170,000 years ago. They even created bedding using grass, suggesting a desire for comfort even then.
So it wasn't just about basic survival. They were creating homes, seeking ways to improve their living conditions.
Exactly. And their ingenuity is further highlighted by the discovery of a 100,000-year-old paint workshop at Blombos Cave in South Africa. They weren't just surviving, they were creating art expressing themselves symbolically. It's a powerful reminder of the depth of early human cognition.
That's incredible. It seems like we keep underestimating our ancestors.
It's a common trap. We tend to view the past through a lens of simplicity, but the evidence often reveals a far more complex and nuanced story.
And that story continues as we move into more recent history, doesn't it?
It does. As societies developed, caves continue to play a role, often as places of refuge and protection, especially during times of conflict. We see this reflected in ancient writings that mention cave-dwelling tribes like the Troglodytae.
Weren't the Dead Sea Scrolls also hidden in caves for protection?
Yes. Around 2,000 years ago, they were hidden in caves near Qumran to escape Roman destruction. Their rediscovery centuries later was a major archaeological event.
It's like a real-life treasure hunt.
Yeah.
And speaking of hiding, some believe that caves in the U.S., like the caves of St. Louis, might have played a role in the Underground Railroad.
That's right. Caves offered a secret haven for those seeking freedom. And in the Southwest, the Pueblo people built elaborate cliff dwellings, integrating their homes into these naturally defensive spaces.
It's fascinating how caves have provided both physical and symbolic shelter throughout history.
Indeed. They've been woven into the fabric of human experience in ways we're still uncovering.
So as we transition to the modern era, are there still people who call caves home?
Believe it or not, there are. In fact, we've got examples from all over the world showcasing the diverse ways in which cave dwelling persists even today. Yeah, it's surprising to consider that even in the 20th century, there were communities still living in caves. The Tasaday people of the Philippines, for instance, resided in caves until the 1970s.
That recent, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Are there any present-day examples?
There are, and they highlight some of the complexities surrounding this way of life.
Okay.
In Herbet Tawani, Palestinian families who have made their homes in caves are facing threats of eviction, raising questions about land rights and cultural displacement.
That sounds like a very difficult situation. A reminder that cave dwelling isn't always a choice.
Exactly. It's important to acknowledge the socio-political factors that sometimes intersect with this lifestyle. But on a more hopeful note, millions of people in China continue to live in caves, blending traditional practices with modern amenities. It's a testament to the adaptability of both humans and caves.
It seems like China has a long and rich history of cave use.
They do. And it's not just about practicality. Cave dwelling can also have a spiritual dimension. Think of monks and hermits seeking solitude in caves throughout history. We even have a modern example in Elder Arsenios, a Greek Orthodox monk who lived in a cave for over 55 years.
That level of isolation is hard to fathom. It speaks to a completely different way of life.
It does. But even in more modern Western societies, we see echoes of this ancient connection to caves. In England, the rock houses at Kinver Edge were inhabited until the mid-20th century, a reminder that this way of life wasn't always so distant.
It's interesting to think about how those residents adapted to modern life while living in these unique dwellings.
And then you have communities like the Gitano people at Sacromonte in Spain. Their cave system isn't just a collection of homes, it's a thriving community with churches, schools, and businesses all integrated into this ancient landscape.
It challenges our assumptions about what a cave-dwelling community can be. It sounds incredibly vibrant.
It is. And it highlights the fact that cave dwelling isn't just about roughing it, it can be about community culture and connection to place.
And sometimes it's about pushing the boundaries of human endurance. You mentioned Beatrice Flamini, the Spanish athlete who spent 500 days alone in a cave.
Yeah.
That must have been an incredible psychological feat.
It was, and it raises interesting questions about the psychological impacts of isolation, something we often grapple with in modern society, even without living in caves.
It makes you wonder, what are the long-term effects of limited sunlight, social interaction, and exposure to the natural world?
Those are questions researchers are still exploring. But what's fascinating is that Flamini reported feeling a sense of peace and connection to nature during her time in the cave, something many of us long for in our busy, tech-filled lives.
That's a powerful insight. It seems like there's a growing interest in reconnecting with nature, and maybe cave dwelling, in its own way, offers a path to that.
It's certainly a unique perspective, and it's not just about isolation. We're seeing a resurgence of interest in cave dwellings as modern homes, particularly in Europe. In Italy and Spain, caves are being renovated into stylish contemporary living spaces.
It seems counterintuitive, but I can see the appeal. The natural insulation, the unique aesthetic, the connection to history.
Exactly. And in the Loire Valley of France, they're even repurposing abandoned caves into affordable housing, offering a creative solution to a growing problem.
It sounds like a brilliant blend of sustainability and practicality. You mentioned earlier that millions of people in China live in caves, and even here in the U.S. we have historical accounts of cave dwelling.
That's right. Alice Morse Earle, in her book Home Life in Colonial Days, describes the smoky homes of early settlers, often dug into hillsides with roofs of tree limbs. They weren't glamorous, but they provided much-needed shelter.
It gives you a new appreciation for the challenges those early settlers faced.
It does, and it reminds us that cave dwelling in its various forms has been a part of the American experience as well.
But what about modern-day cave dwelling in the U.S.? Is that just a historical footnote, or are there present-day examples?
There are, and one particularly striking example is a family in Missouri who turned a massive sandstone cave into a truly remarkable home.
A family living in a cave in Missouri, that sounds like something out of a storybook. What can you tell us about them?
Well, this family was tired of the conventional housing market, so they decided to get creative. They found a massive sandstone cave, about 15,000 square feet, and saw its potential as a unique and spacious home.
15,000 square feet, that's huge.
Yeah.
What was it like transforming a raw cave into a livable space?
It was definitely a major undertaking. They had to bring in all the essentials, electricity, plumbing, and so on. They had to carve out rooms, install flooring, and basically build a home from scratch within this natural cavern.
I bet they faced some interesting challenges along the way. Did you learn about any specifics?
I'm sure there were plenty. Moisture control, ventilation, and lighting are all crucial factors in a cave environment. I imagine they had to find creative solutions to those issues.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
But they clearly succeeded. What does their home look like now?
It's pretty remarkable. They've created a comfortable modern home while preserving the natural beauty of the cave. They have multiple bedrooms, a large kitchen, a living area, all the comforts you'd expect, but with those stunning rock walls and high ceilings.
I'm trying to picture it. Did they incorporate any special features that took advantage of the cave's unique qualities?
Absolutely. They have a home theater, a gym, and even an indoor swimming pool, all seamlessly integrated into the cave environment. And they did all of this with an eye towards sustainability, using eco-friendly materials and minimizing their impact on the surrounding ecosystem.
It's amazing what they were able to accomplish. It really challenges our preconceived notions about what's possible with cave dwelling.
It does. They've created a home that's both modern and in harmony with nature, a blend that's becoming increasingly desirable in today's world.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, could modern society learn something from the ingenuity and resourcefulness of past and present cave dwellers, especially as we face challenges like affordable housing and climate change?
It's a thought-provoking question. Cave dwellers have a long history of adapting to their environment, using natural resources efficiently, and creating homes that are both functional and sustainable. Perhaps there are lessons we can apply to our own lives and communities.
This deep dive has certainly opened my eyes to the possibilities. We've covered so much ground, from prehistoric cave use to modern-day adaptations, from the practical to the spiritual, from necessity to innovation.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey, hasn't it? And I think it speaks to the enduring connection between humans and caves, these spaces that have offered shelter, inspiration, and a sense of wonder for millennia.
What stands out to you as we wrap up this exploration?
What strikes me most is the sheer diversity of ways in which caves have been integrated into human experience. They've served as shelters, refuges, spiritual sanctuaries, artistic canvases, and even, as we've seen, modern sustainable homes. It's a testament to the adaptability of both humans and these remarkable subterranean spaces.
It makes you appreciate the depth and complexity of the human story, doesn't it? We often focus on the differences that separate us, but the history of cave dwelling shows a common thread of ingenuity, resilience, and a desire to connect with our surroundings.
Well said. And perhaps as we look to the future, we can draw inspiration from this ancient practice, finding ways to create homes and communities that are more in tune with the natural world.
On that note, we'll conclude our deep dive into the world of cave dwellers and cave dwellings. We hope you've enjoyed this subterranean exploration and that it's sparked a newfound appreciation for these often overlooked spaces.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world around us.